Alright, so we're going to be talking about osmosis, which is the diffusion of water across a semi-permeable membrane. Now in this case right here, I'm looking at 3 animal cells and 1 plant cell, and we're going to be looking and seeing how water diffuses in or out depending upon what the concentrations are in the middle. Now, of course, water, so it's appropriate to make it blue. Now, this first one here, I'm going to punch in a couple numbers to show you the relative salt and water concentrations on the inside and the outside. You can see on this first one, it's 96% water inside, and it's 96% water on the outside as well. This means that these are in equilibrium. It's the same inside and outside. So this means that water is going to be entering and leaving at the exact same rate. Because it's the same inside and outside, there's no one place where water is higher than the other. So this cell is in equilibrium. Water is entering and leaving equally because it is equal inside and outside. We would say that this cell is isotonic. Alright, so in this next cell, I'm going to put some different concentrations inside and outside. You can see in this one right here, I have 99% water on the outside, whereas I only have 95% on the inside. You have to think of it as water always flows downhill. Water is going to go from where it's highest to where it's lowest. In this case, it is highest outside and lowest inside. This means that the water is almost going to flow downhill from the outside to the inside. And that is, of course, what happens. With 99% water out, 95% in, you have to follow the water. In this case, the water is going to go in. It's going to go from the outside to the inside. We would say that a cell like this is going to swell because water is going to enter it. So we would call that hypotonic. I like to think of it as hypo like a hippo because hippos are very large. Okay, so for this third animal cell, we're going to be looking at yet another kind of percentage difference. So take a minute and look at the percentage of water inside and outside. Where is the water highest? If you said the water is highest on the outside, you're wrong. It's not. You'll see that the water is highest inside. 97% water on the inside, whereas 70% water on the outside. This means that I have a higher percentage of water inside than out. Remember, water flows downhill. And in this case, it's highest inside, which means you can see it leaving. This is going to cause that cell to lose water. It's going to shrink or shrivel. We would call a solution like this a hypertonic solution because it is going to be losing water. Now this last cell here, it is the plant cell, and I'm going to be putting this one in pure water. So 98% water inside, pure water on the outside there. Water always goes from where it's highest to where it's lowest. In this case right here is going to be flowing inside from the out. Now we did see this before on that previous cell here. We are looking at yet again another hypotonic solution because water is going to be entering into it. So now we're going to talk about what's happening to each one of our cells. This very first one, he's going to be happy. Why is he happy? He's happy because he's in an isotonic solution. Water is entering and leaving equally. Nothing bad is happening to this guy. Our next one, our hypotonic, you saw that water was rushing in, and if you get too much that's going to be rushing in, he's not going to be too happy because his head is going to be all kind of exploding and stuff. Hypo, like a hippo, causes him to swell, possibly burst. Our next one is in the very salty solution. And if you've ever had anything that's very salty, you're going to know this exact same expression. He is going to be so thirsty. Why is he thirsty? It's because of that very high salt solution causes all of his water to leave. And finally, our plant cell. Now our plant cell is again going to be under that hypotonic solution where water is rushing in, but he can handle the pressure because of his cell wall. So looking back at our first cell here, nothing bad is going to happen. There's going to be no change in him. Second cell is going to burst because of the hypotonic solution. Our third cell is going to shrink or shrivel because of the high salt. And the last one is going to swell. And the reason he's only going to swell is because of that cell wall. So our very first one right here, water is going to be entering and leaving equally. He's isotonic. He's happy. Second one, hypotonic, going to burst because all of that water is going to be going from where it's highest, outside, to where it's lowest, inside, causing him to swell, possibly burst. This next cell here is going to be hypertonic. Remember, water is going to be leaving because it's highest inside. Water always goes from where it's highest to where it's lowest. And in our last cell here, water is highest on the outside and lowest on the inside, meaning that water is going to rush in, again, a hypotonic solution. The only difference here is that it has that cell wall, which is going to be protecting it from going all exploding and stuff.